What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? A woman went to unbelievable lengths to get a big payday, and now she will have 2 years in prison to reflect on one of the most stupidest ass ideas ever. This woman cut off her hand to get bread from an insurance policy. Her and her boyfriend and the boyfriend's dad was involved in the scheme. She told authorities that she cut her hand off while cutting branches. The boyfriend used a circular saw to cut off her hand. If she had been able to pull it off, they would have given her half of the $1 million policy up front and the other half in installments. Yulia Adlisik of Slovenia got 1 year in prison. Her boyfriend received 3 years in prison. And the boyfriend's dad, who also had a hand in the scheme, got 1 year. It's pretty light sentence. But man, what will people not do for money? Nothing. There is no limit. There is absolutely no limit. I want to know whose idea was it. I mean, it's bad enough that she agreed to it if it was somebody else's idea. Something tells me it was perhaps the boyfriend's idea, or maybe even the dad's idea, the diabolical dad. Perhaps. But what in her mind said, that's a good idea. It appears that they did some preliminary research. Prosecutors say 1 day before the incident, Yulia Alexik's boyfriend searched on the internet for how artificial hands work. Fam, I told y'all a few months ago, every day I wake up and I check out these news stories, I've just gotten to a place where I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised anymore. It's a trip, but I think I'm immune to the nonsense. But man, this is right up there, man. This has got to be the first case where I've heard of a person cutting off a limb. There's been cases where people shoot themselves and try to avoid the main arteries and stuff. And then there are cases where people just commit suicide for the money, for their family, to leave behind, to leave behind for their families. But somebody who plan on living, to just chop their hand off for some money, $1 million? What happened to, I got a plan, I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna have $1 million by, let's say, in a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. If I gotta work 20 years, 50 years before I can become a millionaire, I'd rather do that than chop my hand off. But what say you? Some of y'all may have some different ideas. Which of you would take the risk? Who's out there? I know a lot of people out there want $1 million. Which of you, who amongst us, would go as far as chopping your hand off to get to $1 million. This should be interesting. Drop a comment, fam. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?